Okay, so we are live doing a stream for the first time on this channel for I think a really long time. It is
Yes.
Road Dog Speaks here and Angels, who is a long time contributor and back on this channel again. So yes,
And
welcome to Angels.
yes,
Um,
I'm really glad to be back too. I've really missed you lot, especially you. I mean, given that we even had a chat earlier about the lack of women chatting about politics.
I know, and I think YouTube's got like a real algorithm issue. I was talking to you about it in the chat earlier or
Mm,
yesterday about
mm,
there's a load of blokes that, and I think you'll probably know some that like talk about politics, and they've
yeah.
got like quite good like channels and all that. But I think
Mm.
when women do it, it's not as interesting for some reason.
Well,
Um,
maybe people just really can't be asked to kind of wait. Sorry, I'm basically just trying to turn the volume down so that I can look it up and look at the side chat if we get people, because the problem is that uh, you know, don't you remember I used to have this real obsession on Swisses where I was like, oh, we're ignoring the side. Well, he used to ignore the side chat, and then everyone was like asking questions, going, "Oh, like why are you ignoring me? What's going on?"
oh,
And I
we've
was
we've
like,
got the comment. We've got I can see the comments in the StreamYard thingy.
great.
But yeah, so what we're going to talk about today is the
Mhm.
obvious absolute breakdown in the Tory party that is
Mm.
ongoing and continuous and will probably not stop um, until said Prime Minister resigns or is kicked out or dragged out, whichever way it ends up happening. Um, so we'll begin with that, and I think
Sorry,
that
I just got a call through on my phone. So,
okay,
oh, I don't know
um,
if you can hear me.
I can, yeah.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, the I think the
Oh, I
recent
can't.
news.
Can't hear you. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Okay, hope you can join us again. So the news recently that I think the PM facing fresh calls to resign after it was discovered that not only Boris Johnson seen holding a beer um, in Downing Street, but also Rishi Sunak, who was also drink in hand. That said, it was a soft drink. Um, so, but he's also now embroiled in the Partygate scandal. Um, and so this sort of comes in the latest in a long line of fresh scandals with regard to the all the parties that's going on or have been, and so now Rishi Sunak's involved, and so the Met Police are still investigating after having been handed in more than 300 images and more than 500 pages of information of the Partygate probe that, as we all know, the infamous and famed Sue Gray herself, Sue Gray, the investigator in chief, um, did like hand in the report last week, but as we all will have heard by now, I think it was redacted. Um, so we didn't really get to sort of get to view the whole dirty details of it. Only that she recommended that it was not within the rules to be doing this and blah blah blah. Obviously, she didn't have the power to try and like force people to resign or quit because that's obviously not her remit. But that was what she said. Um, and many people have been trying to ask Boris Johnson to resign. I think Keir Starmer has a few times. Ian Blackford, the SNP leader, stood up in Parliament last week and, rightly said that Boris Johnson is misleading the House, which basically means you're lying. I can't remember what he was responding to. I think, but he said, "Oh, he's misleading the House," and because of the rules of Parliament, you can't call somebody a liar in Parliament, even though they're actively lying in Parliament. You can't then stand up and say you're lying, because then you'll get asked to leave if you don't retract the comments. I think Ian Blackford sort of almost didn't want to retract, but then I think he sort of said, if Boris Johnson, hello again, if
Hi.
Boris Johnson is seen to have misled the House, then I will retract, something like that. I was just talking about Ian Blackford in the House in
Yeah.
the Commons last week.
Now, I'm not really sure why my camera's not working. But if you can hear me right, I'll just.
Ew.
Oh gosh, this is really getting off to a bad start. I'm so sorry. I just got a call, and so it seems to have disrupted like everything. Right, give me 1 minute. I am gonna reboot and come right back. Okay.
Okie dokie.
Okay. Carry on chatting though. But yeah, Ian Blackford. Just very very quickly, I thought he was great when he basically said, "No, no, no, I'm sticking up for my constituents. This man's a liar," and blah
I
blah.
know, and
Blah.
I just think it's just so like, it's so incredible that you can't be allowed to stand up and call someone a liar, even if they're actively lying
Mm,
and misleading and making misleading comments.
mm,
And then you'll get asked, you'll be the one to be kicked out if
yeah,
you refuse to, take it back. So
yeah,
basically, like, Boris Johnson can just stand there and lie,
yeah.
and perhaps, like, be given a slap on the wrists, but
If,
then not be asked to
if that,
leave.
I mean, they let him get away with it. Really, I mean, look, Lindsay Hall. I don't mind him, but you have to admit he's quite pansy, isn't he?
He is
Like
a bit.
he allows like people to get away with this ridiculous stuff. Anyway, I will be right back because hopefully you can see me then, and I can see you lot. Hold on.
Okey-doke. So yeah, on the subject of Ian Blackford, I just brought up an article from the Independent. So I'll see if I can read out what it says. So Ian Blackford, who is like the leader of the House for the SNP, Scottish Nationalist Party. Yes, actually, he was ejected from the House of Commons for saying that Boris Johnson misled Parliament over the parties. He refused to withdraw his comments in exchange with the Speaker, Lindsay Hoyle, and he said Mr. Johnson had willfully misled Parliament. Oops, excuse me. And so yeah, the general rule of Parliament, because obviously the UK has got an unwritten constitution, nothing is like written on paper, so nothing's set in stone. So whatever is said basically goes, or basically gentlemen's agreements. So MPs are officially banned from accusing each other of lying or deliberately misleading the Commons during parliamentary debates. The Speaker. Fucking hell.
The public know this is a man they can no longer trust.
Here we go.
He has been investigated by the police. He misled the House. He must now resign.
Order. You'll have to withdraw that last comment.
Mr. Speaker, I gave the evidence of the 8th of December.
Order. You're going to have to withdraw misled.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister has misled the House.
Unless you withdraw, I will have to stop, and that's not good. Just withdraw the words.
I am standing up for my constituents that know that this Prime Minister has lied and misled the House.
Give me the paper. Give me the paper. Inadvertently misled. I'll give you one more chance as leader of the SNP. I don't want to have to throw you out. I'm going to give you this chance, please.
Increase to power. That man has misled the House.
And I just
Brilliant. He wouldn't let it go, which is absolutely brilliant. I really admire Ian Blackford for doing that, because he's one of the individuals in as part of Parliament who is like acts like proper opposition, and he will not, like, if someone is lying and someone is deliberately misleading the House, he's gonna call it out, and he won't leave it alone. And I think eventually he was asked to leave.
Hi.
Hello again.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't seem to see me on my phone. I have no idea why. So what I'm going to do is join from my iPad, if that's all right.
Yeah, fine.
I'm so sorry to be like an absolute nightmare, but I will be right back. But no, look, Ro, you're completely right. With Ian Blackford, it's almost like he's like a better opposition. You know what I mean?
I know he's far better than Keir Starmer
Yeah.
any day. Like, he just goes for it. I mean,
Although, may I just say, I don't know whether you picked up on it, but he when Keir Starmer was sort of saying, Welsh people were doing this and doing that, and then when obviously Johnson came out with, like, that slur,
yeah,
I did think that he actually got the tone extremely right. I thought that speech overall was extremely good. I
yeah,
thought, right, it was heartfelt. It was good.
yeah.
It with a
I'm
lot of
gonna see if I can share my screen so that we can actually show some of these
you.
videos.
Yeah, carry on sharing. And what I'll do is I'll try and rejoin from the iPad. Hold on.
Okay. Right. So, share. Okay. So hopefully you can now see this. So let's see if we can see Keir Starmer EMQ's speech this week. Honesty and decency matter. Here we go. This is the Mirror.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to thank Sue Gray for the diligence and professionalism with which she's carried out her work. It's no fault of hers that she's only been able to produce an update today, not the full report. The Prime Minister repeatedly assured the House that the guidance was followed and the rules were followed. But we now know that 12 cases have reached the threshold for criminal investigation, which, I remind the House, means that there is evidence of serious and flagrant breaches of lockdown, including the party on the 20th of May 2020, which we know the Prime Minister attended, and the party on the 13th of November 2020 in the Prime Minister's flat. There can be no doubt that the Prime Minister himself is now subject to criminal investigation. The Prime Minister must keep his promise to publish Sue Gray's report in full when it is available. But it is already clear that the report discloses the most damning conclusion possible. Over the last 2 years, the British public have been asked to make the most heart-wrenching sacrifices. A collective trauma, endured by all, enjoyed by none. Funerals have been missed, dying relatives unvisited. Every family has been marked by what we've been through. And revelations about the Prime Minister's behaviour have forced us all to rethink and relive those darkest moments. Many have been overcome by rage, by grief, and even guilt. Guilt that because they stuck to the law, they did not see their parents one last time. Guilt that because they didn't bend the rules, their children went months without seeing friends. Guilt that because they did as they were asked, they didn't go and visit lonely relatives. But people shouldn't feel guilty. They should feel pride in themselves and their country, because by abiding by those rules, they've saved the lives of people they will probably never meet. They have shown the deep public spirit and the love and respect for others that has always characterised this nation at its best. Our national story about COVID is one of a people that stood up when they were tested. But that will be forever tainted by the behaviour of this Conservative Prime Minister. By routinely breaking the rules he set, the Prime Minister took us all for fools. He held people sacrificing contempt. He showed himself unfit for office. His desperate denials since he was exposed have only made matters worse. Rather than come clean, every step of the way, he's insulted the public's intelligence. And now he's finally fallen back on his usual excuse. It's everybody's fault but his. They go, he stays. Even now, he is hiding behind a police investigation into criminality, into his home and his office. Mr. Speaker, he gleefully treats what should be a mark of shame as a welcome shield. But Prime Minister, the British public aren't fools. They never believed a word of it. They think the Prime Minister should do the decent thing and resign. Of course he won't, because he is a man without shame. And just as he has done throughout his life, he's damaged everyone and everything around him along the way. His colleagues have spent weeks defending the indefensible, touring the TV studios, parroting his absurd denials, degrading themselves and their offices, fraying the bond of trust between the government.
The member for South Ribble is my neighbour. I expect better from my neighbours. Kirsten.
Fraying the bond of trust between the government and the public, eroding our democracy and the rule of law. Margaret Thatcher once said, the first duty of government is to uphold the law. If it tries to bob and weave and duck around that duty when it's inconvenient, then so will the governed. Mr. Speaker, to govern this country is an honour, not a birthright. It is an act of service to the British people, not the keys to a court to parade to your friends. It requires honesty, integrity, and moral authority. I can't tell you how many times people have said to me that this Prime Minister's lack of integrity is somehow priced in, that his behaviour and character don't matter. I have never accepted that, and I never will accept that. Whatever your politics, whichever party you vote for, honesty and decency matters. Our great democracy depends on it. And cherishing and nurturing British democracy is what it means to be patriotic. There are members opposite who know that, and they know the Prime Minister is incapable of it. The question they must now ask themselves is, what are they going to do about it? They can heap their reputations, the reputation of their party, the reputation of this country on the bonfire that is his leadership. Or they can spare the country from a Prime Minister totally unworthy of his responsibilities. It is their duty to do so. They know better than anyone how unsuitable he is for high office. Many of them knew in their hearts that we would inevitably come to this one day. And they know that as night follows day, continuing his leadership will mean further misconduct, cover-up and deceit. It is only they that can end this farce. The eyes of the country are upon them. They will be judged by the decisions they take now.
So that's the Keir Starmer delivering an attack on the PM. Ooh. I'll stop doing that. Am I still? Ooh. Hello again.
Yes. Oh, okay. All right. I'm now on the iPad. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Good. But yeah, no. I just heard the end of that. Now, I thought that he did incredibly then, because
Yeah.
you know, like I said, he sort of like he got the tone right. You know that there are times to joke around. And you know me, right? I'm not one to you know piss sort of I don't know, just be like overly serious. But there are times where you have to be serious, and here's one. And the problem with Boris Johnson is he appears completely unable to actually do that. You know,
Yeah. And
and
I'm glad. I mean, I don't usually. I do think that Keir Starmer. I think he's a lot of the time he's been a bit of a wet sponge, and he's not
yeah,
really made the attacks and like been like the opposition that I really wanted him to be.
yeah,
In comparison to someone like Jeremy Corbyn, who I
yeah.
think had lots of moments where he was very passionate. Keir Starmer, not so much. And I have not really
No,
enjoyed him, like, sort of, oh, we support the government and sort of stuff. But I think what he said last on Wednesday,
yeah,
I think he's probably said it better than I ever could. And I think it was, he really set the right tone,
yeah,
and said the right things. And it was
yeah,
good because it really showed when you saw the response from like the other side and Boris Johnson. I mean, he like absolutely flipped. Like he just flew into this sort of rage, like a child having a tantrum. And I think that's, you could really see the comparison between the two leaders.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. And that's why, like, that's where I think, right, for all that all of us can probably say, because bear in mind, I'm not a massive fan of Keir Starmer. You know what I mean? Like, I'm basically sort of, yeah, I'm not really partial per se when it comes to Labour. I haven't been a member of Labour for ages, but um the thing is, uh he's quite a good antidote to Johnson. You know, like
mm,
he's almost like the polar opposite, which basically makes him better. You know, because in the end, all right, it might take longer. It might be frustrating because, yeah, okay, he is boring. Right? He's not going to set the house on fire, but at the
yeah,
same
well,
time,
I'd rather that any day at the moment than what we've got currently.
indeed,
Um,
indeed.
but
Now, what I'm going to do, Ro, is quickly send the link to the channel. First of all, I'm going to like it. Secondly, I'm going to send the link to the channel. It's like a general chat. But actually, quickly moving on, it's quite a good segue. With
mm,
all these advisors quitting, I never thought I'd hear it, but even my own mum was like, Annabelle, it
mhm,
seems like contrived. Like there's something very strange about the entire thing. And I was like, oh, I suppose the more that I think about it, maybe you're right. Like, but then I don't want to, it's one of those annoying things where you don't want to go down like the rabbit hole, right? So you don't
yeah,
want to be like, oh my God, I'm going to suddenly turn into some conspiratorial nonsense maker. But then, um, but I was like, actually, that's true, because how on earth, like, why would all those people suddenly resign? Having said that, it seemed to me to be a bit too chaotic for it to have been like planned. You
Yeah.
know?
I don't know if it's like it's got to a point where, everyone like seems to have got to the same, like everyone's got the same sort of line that they're not willing to cross, and like, oh, it's gotten to this is the hill that I'm willing to die on now, so we're all going to collectively just decide to quit. I
Mm.
don't know if that's the case, or like they've had like a little meeting to say like, well, we're all agreed that it's enough's enough, and we're all going to just resign when it
Yeah.
gets to like this point,
I
and
mean,
possibly that's what's happening.
I mean, I could believe that, right? Because it's like saving their own job, but
Mm,
I don't know about the entire thing, because if you think about it, they well, I mean, one of those people, well, Manira Mirza, right?
yeah,
She had worked for him. I remember seeing. Uh, well, actually, I saw her in person once. She's tiny.
yeah.
But
I
I remember
could
seeing like
tell
quite,
Tony as well.
yeah, I remember seeing like a few kind of interviews and stuff with her, and that was in his mayoral days. So bear in mind, that's
Yeah.
like what, a decade back.
Mm,
And you know, for her to suddenly quit, I don't buy it. Like this whole thing about, oh yeah, I'm quitting because he made some tasteless remark about Jimmy Savile.
mm,
What? Like, she's stepped in the blood the entire time. Are you kidding? And
yeah.
suddenly he does a very predictable Boris Johnson thing, and she suddenly was like, "No, I don't buy it. This is bollocks."
Yeah. It's like, oh, I don't like that. Oh, that's too much.
Yeah, too
I
much.
feel,
No,
yeah. I mean,
bear
she's been
in
in the
mind,
job
bro.
like 16 years,
Yeah,
and she
for
must have like
16.
known. She knows full well what this guy's about, and for
Well,
her to
bear
then
in
quit.
mind that her husband, I don't know how much of it is from the implications when the report is fully, because her husband actually, and I happen to know this, well, uh, not firsthand, but her husband actually arranges sort of high level swinging, like swinger parties in
Oh,
London,
really?
like sex parties. Yeah. And
Wow. Gossip.
yeah, and he's done it for years. So I don't know how much of this is going to be kind of like party gay, you know. So I don't know
Mm.
whether they're jumping
Oh, it's
before.
probably more than that, actually. It's
Mm.
probably they've all got dirt on each other at the end of the day, and I think they're just all deciding to jump ship because, you just know that they've got like the WhatsApp messages and the group chats and things like that, and they're just like going to turn on each other, and
Yeah,
it's going to be a bloodbath. And
it's rats though,
I
isn't it?
think
They
we're
end up
getting,
together.
yeah, we're getting to that point where it's like, oh my God, I'm going to leave now before anyone decides they're going to dig dirt on me and then give it to the press. I
Mhm.
think that's I
Yeah.
think that's what is a bit like Dominic Cummings. I think he decided
Yeah.
to go um, with his little box running out of
Oh, I know, but
Downing Street.
the thing is that that's another thing. I like, this is why, right? When you have like a lack of trust in government as a general thing, is that you sort of, you constantly then end up sort of believing in conspiracy theories, because the moment I saw that happen, I'm like, nah, that looks too staged, man. Come on, like, no one actually walks out like with, like, it just looked really staged, and I
Yeah,
was like,
it did. Yeah, yeah. It's all ridiculous and it's all such a pantomime. And I think it's a lot of it is just like distraction tactics. Like, look over here. Oh, look what
oh
this looks
look,
like,
a
and
dead
things.
cat.
Yeah, yeah. Like, oh, a squirrel is over here. Look, everyone, look at this.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
um,
I'm just sending the link to the bullet, just to sort of let them know that we are
yeah,
here.
I think there's only like a couple of people, 3 people watching. So if you are watching, if you are one of those people, please say hello in the chat and get involved with the discussion. It'd
Yep.
be good to hear from you.
Yes.
But yeah, moving on. What I've named this talk Boris Regret and Other Disasters, where I mean I've been listening to conversations sort of like on the radio.
Yeah.
And it makes me really cross because there's a lot of people like Tory voters who, I mean, some of them like have rung in and it's like, God, I can't believe I've done this. Like, I feel like an idiot and I wish I'd
Mm.
never voted for this man. And like, they sound really sincere and it's like, I completely like hands up. This is my fault and I'm never going to do it again. I'm like, yep, fine, great. I've got like more truck with that argument. But like, there's a guy on the radio that I was listening to yesterday. I think it was one of James O'Brien's segments, and I know some lefties like have strong feelings about James O'Brien and just like won't listen to him because he's like one of those centrists. But I personally like him. But oh well,
Well, no, I mean, look,
that's another discussion. But yeah, so this guy rang in and he was like, "Oh, James, I feel so hurt. I feel so let down. I feel like I've been made a fool of. And I voted for Brexit and I really wanted like change in this country. And I feel really hurt and gosh." And he was like, the tone of his voice was like sort of, he sounded like quite upset and sort of sad, but then in the way that he sort of wanted sympathy. And I was like,
yeah.
I'm not buying this. Like, I'm not gonna take it because it's just my sympathy with these sorts of people only goes so far because on the one hand, yes, I'm glad that you've come to this, decision and you've realized that you've made a mistake. And that's fine. That's great. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you that you've seen the light, as it were. But you know, it's been a long time coming. You've literally been shown um all the examples and all the cases where this guy has proved himself to be incompetent, like a humongous liar, a
Mm.
narcissist, an
It's the
opportunist.
lies. It's the
Yeah,
lies that get me. Like
yeah.
it's like nobody could no, nobody can really sort of say, oh well, I was really taken in. Like I had no idea. I thought he was really like on it. Look, everyone knew that he was like even the dumbest of dumb knew that he was a liar, right? And
Mm,
so it's rather difficult to
I know.
extend, the hand of like sympathy to people like that. But the thing is, I firsthand know that there are people, even in my area of work, right, where they have massive red tape now. Now, most of the people that I work with, naturally, because I'm like a translator, of course they voted to remain. But if they didn't have dual, then they're fucked. Like people are seriously, they're going to the Germans or the Dutch or the French or whatever, right? They're not gonna.
Mhm.
I know legally they're meant to kind of tender it to all of us, especially if we're uh just like freelance, right?
Yeah.
They won't, like they won't, they ignore Brits. Like I get
Mm,
probably now a third of the offers of jobs
mm.
because I'm British, because of all
Yeah,
the red and all the bollocks. Yeah.
yeah. And like we were told, like, oh, we'll get rid of all the red tape and things will be great and we'll be able to trade with the whole world and things will be fine. And no one's talking about leaving the single market or customs union. And I hate to, drag this back to the present again because like we've been through it so many times and it's
I
frankly
though
boring at this point. Um, but you know, we've reached a point as a country.
just grabbing
Um,
my wearable duvet is amazing.
we've reached a point as a country And I'm actually primarily talking about just England now, because I
Mm,
think Scotland and Wales and Northern Ireland are
yeah.
sort of different cases,
Mm.
where we've just become like this absolute laughing stock
Yeah, I know.
because of our just awful decision.
Mm.
And there's so many people that just still like doubling down, thinking, yes, I did the right
Look,
thing. And
I don't think most people do. I think that most people who sort of try and claim that are just trying to save face. I
Mhm.
think that, look, the vast majority of people now who genuinely are like, oh yeah, like, this is great. They're either lying or completely
Mm,
deluded. Okay, because
mhm,
there is no other course. Like, you can't viably kind of go, like, say, oh yeah, it's great. But then they'll
mhm.
say, oh, no. Okay, so fine. One of the ones that I've heard recently is, um oh, it's not the kind of Brexit that we vote. Well, which one is then? I mean, like,
Yeah, you weren't given a choice of what sort of Brexit do you want.
yeah, what
Yeah.
is there a um
Yeah, and to be fair, to give credit to Theresa May of all people,
oh God.
she was the one who negotiated a deal whereby Northern Ireland was able to stay in the customs union and the single market, and
Mm.
that was promptly, chucked and rejected because the ERG, in their infinite wisdom, weren't having it and decided that, oh, we want a clean Brexit where we just
What, and also, what is that? What is a clean like, what, to me it's the messiest of all, surely,
Hmm,
because
yeah.
you
Oh,
you
like
end
what?
up,
And then you've got Liz Truss. Oh my goodness, just
don't,
waltzing
yeah,
around the
no,
world, going, "I've got a
don't,
trade deal with
wait,
Japan."
wait,
Yes,
please, please. Oh, it's about cheese and
cheese,
goats and, no,
cheese.
sorry, what was it?
Oh,
Pork markets. Oh
yeah,
yeah, pork markets. That is a
yeah.
disgrace. Yeah. Now,
It's like some sort of comedian, like
okay,
stand-up thing.
but
So she
this
just
is
had
what,
this just
but
a deranged smile on her face, like, we export 30% of cheese to France. That is
that,
a disgrace.
I mean, she was like the kind of, don't you remember that I said to you that when I went to the sausage factory school, so obviously like an all girls private school, after going to two comprehensives which were basically filled with Irish pikeys and God knows who.
Mm,
And so I then go there and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, everybody was like a carbon copy of the other person.
yeah.
And so I called it the sausage factory. It was just like pumping out A's, and like every person had no soul. They were just like the exact same. And she reminds me of the type of person that even in that school would be bullied, right? And
Mm,
she is such a political lightweight. I cannot even begin
yeah.
to
And she was one of the ones who voted Remain, I think. She was like a
she was,
full-on
yeah,
Remainer.
yeah, and she actually did.
She's a
Yeah, and she,
turncoat and a half lady.
well, no, she's only doing it. But look, she's not fooling anyone really. I've always said though, I really want it to be her, because if it's her, it's the best news for Labour, like, ever. She
I
is
mean, who could be
so.
worse though? I think there could be worse people. You could have someone like Priti Patel, and I've imagined that. It's like, can you imagine Priti Patel being PM?
I mean,
No
also
thanks.
bear in mind that the parliamentary parties got a lot of thinking to actually do, because the last two go to the members, and bear in
Mm,
mind that the members have left in droves since they went nuts.
yeah.
So that means that basically they're only left with like red-faced angry UKIPers, which means that they're not going to like brown people. They're not going to, probably not like women, unless they like try and pretend like Liz Truss is Thatcher, and I doubt that. And then
Mm,
so no, I think that it's win-win because the you know, the members are so retarded and the choice is so bad that either way this is like good news for any
Well,
opposition.
yeah, I think that Rishi Sunak's sort of waiting in the wings, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
The PM.
Oh,
He's kept himself very clean up until this point, where he's been pictured like in a photo op with Boris Johnson drinking. Well, I think he was drinking a soft drink, but yeah.
So yeah. I'm just you said hi Cam, obviously to Cameron, so hi, but also Callum says unfortunately I can't join, but he can or not stay and listen, having birthday dinner with Granny. Oh, watch the stream after.
Yeah.
So, but no, you're right. But who do you reckon would be? See, I think that Liz Truss would be quite good news for Labour. You know, meaning
Like,
that because she's such a lightweight.
She's so bad that no one will vote for her. Well, they also said that about like Boris Johnson, that, you know, is it a good thing for Labour that Boris Johnson should just stay in his job because it's just like scandal after scandal after scandal, and like the poll.
But again, though, it's the country, isn't it? Like I just feel like we've all like gone through enough now, and I just so yes, yeah, you're right, but I think like in the interest of the country, just, you know, we need to, even if we have someone like him, but who's like a puppet, right? Even if we have fine, someone boring, can we just have that so we don't, because it's like this onslaught of drama the whole time, and on top of, like, you know, on top of the pandemic and everything that's kind of come with it, it's exhausting.
Yeah, it's a bit like Donald Trump though, isn't it? And I think that's why he was voted out, because I think most people got to a point where it's like, this is too much. Like, I just want a bit of normal.
It's just like, again, it's not voting for someone, it actually means
no.
Yeah, it's never voting for someone. It's just voting against.
Voting for the least worst person. Yeah, no, I back to the caller that I was listening to, and he was just saying like, oh, I just wanted like some change because like this country deserves like so much better. And I'm like, yes, you're right, this country does deserve better. And you decided to vote for somebody who lied to you and is a proven like charlatan, and obviously, you know, has got like a track record of wrongdoing, and you decided to like, oh, got Brexit done.
Well, that's it, isn't it? But
and like there was, and you know, I know that, you know, Corbyn had his issues, but at the end of the day, there was a person offering, you know, change this country in a positive, like a really good positive way.
Indeed. Look,
and he was roundly rejected.
Yeah, indeed. Also, Cameron says in the chat that Keir Starmer represents the British establishment, which he sort of, I mean, well, of course he does.
Yeah, well, he's a sir, so
yeah,
knighthood.
But, yeah, and so yes, in that sense. But the thing is, whether he does or doesn't, it's difficult to basically not take something else other than this lot. I think that you know, we're in a point now where it's desperate enough that this lot have to go. And I know that I've said it previously. I even said it when Theresa May was in, but no. Now is, you know, it's beyond that. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
isn't it?
And I'm glad that the scales are dropping from people's eyes, like now. Because I really do feel like we've both been standing on the sidelines for a considerable amount of time, like screaming, like, this guy is a bad guy, like, this is so wrong, like, what's going on, like, this shouldn't be happening.
Suddenly people are like, oh God, this bloke's lied. I'm like,
yeah, Really?
Has he?
Really? Do you think so? My goodness. Nobody else saw that coming, did they? And it's like the only one's like, oh
I,
no, he's lied
okay,
to
but
me. Oh,
the thing is, um, oh dear, no, no, no. I mean, you're right. In some ways, should I be so forgiving because I'm like,
yeah.
well, they see it now, but
Mm,
yeah, it wasn't like no one was actually told. It's
yeah.
so
Well,
bloody.
that's yeah. People were telling them like this guy is a bad guy. Like you shouldn't vote for him. Oh,
I know.
get Brexit done. Get Brexit done.
What? But the thing is, who cares
And
about?
you know what, may I just say, Brexit's never going to get done. By the way, it's never going to be done. It's going to be an ongoing thing that will just get worse, and we'll eventually probably have to join like at least the single market and be like be like Switzerland or Norway, at the very least.
Here's my prediction.
And I know Cameron probably will disagree with that in the chat. But
Oh, well, Cameron. Well, hang on. I'm trying to, because you couldn't see me on my phone. I'm having to look at the chat on my phone and then be on here on the iPad. Hold on. Okay. Corbyn. Oh yeah. He no. He said that Corbyn was sabotaged by the
yeah,
LP.
well, and by the right wing
No,
press.
the media as well. I think.
Yeah.
Massively. Like, the thing is, it, it was not only that. I think the because the electorate have been drip fed this stuff, and it's not it wasn't only throughout that campaign, right? It was like people were already programmed to not go with anybody on the left. I mean, my God, like the most
Heaven forbid anyone on the left is chosen to lead the country. Good
yeah.
God. I mean, to be fair, like, I've got mixed opinions about Angela Rayner, but actually now I think that she'd probably make a better leader than Keir Starmer would at the moment.
So Sylvia Heal, right? Who is the she was a speaker, and she is part of my mum's Labour Party around here, and I think she was deputy speaker a while back. Anyway, we know her and her husband, and she really thinks a lot of Angela Rayner. And like
Mhm.
she knows like big beasts in Labour, and she's like, no, Angela Rayner is really good. Like, she's really good. She's very kind of savvy,
Yeah.
And so because I didn't really know much about her, I didn't really jump to conclusions. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I but actually, yeah, she's certainly grown in like confidence, and I think she's
Mhm.
done a damn good job in
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I started out when I was sort of watching her in interviews and things, and I was a bit disappointed because she was like sort of towing the party line a bit and sort of going.
Well, they
She
all do though a
moved a
bit.
little bit more because obviously
Mm,
she's deputy
mm,
leader.
mm.
But now I think based on her performances in PMQs, like when Keir Starmer was off, I
She
think
was good, yeah,
she was really good.
yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing her as the leader.
I mean, right. I can't remember. I can't remember whether it was either mum voted or I voted. I can't remember, but I do remember, like, was I still a member? I think I would have either voted for Keir Starmer or I did. Oh no. Oh yeah, perhaps it's because mum was still a member, and so therefore I remember
Mm.
seeing the ballot paper. Now, the only reason why I wanted to vote for Keir Starmer is not because I loved him. It was more the fact that I was just like, right, what is the best way to fool the stupid electorate, that we have some type of centrist leader? I know. Let's just get like so. Basically, it was like throughout kind of frustration. I know it sounds awful, but it was basically frustration that I was just, you know, because also it's our system, isn't it? I mean, like,
Yeah.
you know, you have to just sway these particular seats, and you have to,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
I think the reason why I get frustrated a lot is because my constituency is it's actually Tewkesbury, even though I live closer to Cheltenham. But Tewkesbury, my MP is like an invisible man. Like, you just don't see him ever. Like, I don't see him in the House of Commons. I just don't see him doing interviews.
what's his name?
Lawrence Robertson is his name. And I went to the hustings in 2019 in our church. He was in the church, and he didn't come, and he didn't show himself. Which is why I get cross, because it's such a massive majority that he has. Like, you could add up all the votes of all the other parties, and it still wouldn't beat his massive amount of numbers.
Yeah.
And I get frustrated because in a lot of cases I feel like when I trudge up to the village hall when I go cast my vote, it seems like every year now. I go up and it's like you say, like, oh, people get bussed up, like, and people like climb out of coffins just to vote Conservative. And
Seriously.
I know that when I make my vote, it's going to make no difference at all. And I feel like the past like couple of years, and I know like I'm gonna make a slightly derogatory remark about Northerners in a minute, which I'm very sorry for, but
Cameron's gonna hate you.
I really feel like when they bang on about like all the red wall seats and the red wall voters, and they do vox pops of people who live in, like, I don't know, like Stockport and you know, what, I can't think of any northern towns, Bradford, all these places. And it's like, I honestly sometimes feel like their vote and their voice seems to be valued over and above mine. And that shouldn't be the case. Everyone's vote should matter the same, and it
Oh,
should be equal. But because
right.
I live in such a massively safe seat, it doesn't matter, because, you know, my voice is not going to count for anything.
Bear in
There's
mind, though,
someone who
no
lives in the
one-
marginal in the north that
yeah,
flipped from red to blue, their vote, and they're like, no one can stop talking about it. Like, all these people voted for Tories in 2019, so let's continue with that conversation.
but bear in
And
mind.
meanwhile, we're all just like, fine, just ignore us.
I know,
Um,
but look, if you think about it, Ro, if in let's say my parents see here, now this is a pretty sassy, arguably less so. I think, like, over the years, it certainly will become less, because it's like Runnymede and Weybridge, and so therefore, as
mm,
London is, is coming out, then yes. um but look, it's still like, from when I first could vote, which is when I came out as sixth form college, so in
mm.
2000. That's how old I am. Can you believe it? I'm 40 this year. I'm 40. I'm 39.
Wow.
Can you believe that? Oh my god, it's great. I still get ID'd though, so it's fine.
No,
um
I do as well. It's fine.
but yeah, so every single vote up until Twickenham, because obviously Twickenham is Liberal, and so Labour voters always vote Liberal there, just to kind of keep the Tory out. But here, no, they literally bus in old rich people to vote blue. Like, I'm not kidding. I've actually had to hold the door open in the polling station to just, get these absolute idiots in to just. I mean, it's unbelievable. Seriously. Now, every single vote up until then, none of them mattered. Every single vote that I cast didn't count.
Mhm.
So I just had to deal with the fact that voting was pointless. It's pointless.
Mm. But you vote anyway, though, don't you?
Oh yeah, I always vote. It's just
Mm.
pointless.
Yeah. Cameron says in the chat, how much do you know about what they call the Red Wall? Well, Cam, I could ask you, how much do you know about
The
what
blue
they
wall.
call the Southwest in the Blue Wall? It goes both ways. And I don't want to. I didn't mean to sound like I was trying to slag off like northern constituencies.
I am slagging off northern constituencies because they're idiots because they voted against their own interests, Cameron. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm joking. No, because I know he didn't, but I know other people did though.
Yeah.
Relatively.
I just get cross over it though. I just don't like hearing the vox pops and people just saying plain ignorant stuff and not getting challenged about it, and they're just being allowed to say these things and vote for these people who blatantly don't give a shit about them. I'm like, oh, he's doing his best. We should just let him carry on, and he's working really hard. It's like, so is everybody else. Like, so are the NHS workers. Like, so are all the doctors and nurses and public sector workers who, like, they were never asked. Like, they had to carry on working. None of them stayed at home.
Yeah, and I think it goes beyond that too. I think a lot of it is that it's just like the trust thing too, because I had a big discussion with Callum about this, where it's not like Partygate. It's not about parties. It's not about parties. It's about that everyone else was trying to trust the government and sort of giving them the benefit of the doubt, and really like genuinely like having horrendous experiences and seeing neighbors or friends or this or that like suffering and trying to kind of stick to the rules and sticking to the rules, right? And it's like the idea that it's like that much contempt. So it's the trust thing, right? It's the hurt and the
and
trust.
also
It's not parties. No one cares about parties. No one cares about being like.
I also think it's people find it much more relatable because it like actively affects them. So when people found out about the parties and the rule breaking, it's like they were personally like, it was like an insult to how they behaved. And like, I think one of the Tory MPs during PMQ stood up and asked Boris Johnson, like, am I a fool for like not going to see my elderly mother in the care home? Like, do you think I'm an idiot? And like people like think I am an idiot. Like, I've been taken for a fool because they clearly thought rules don't apply to me, so F everybody else.
But I really hope.
I think you're lagging.
I always hoped that. Oh, not sure. Maybe.
Yeah.
Now, better.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay.
But no, but yeah, like the thing that we all have to remember, including people like that MP, which I thought that was very moving, like what he said. I remember like he was not used to public speaking because he obviously wasn't, but you could tell that he felt kind of impassioned by what he was saying. It was sad, and but no, you aren't a fool, because actually he was doing the right thing. So none of us must sort of feel like fools, because we weren't fools. We were the ones that were in the right. It's just that they weren't.
Yeah.
If you go back to basics, go back to your core strengths, go back what you think is right, then
Mm.
I don't know. I mean, no, you are right though. You know, there's Councillor Clark.
Ooh. I think your your internet's lagging a little bit, so you might need to do something about it.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was earlier. Let me shout to Councillor Clark and see if it is. Hold on.
But yeah, guys, what are you saying in the chat? Yeah, Cameron says these videos where unrepresentative journalists go out of their way. I mean, I guess they do. I mean, I think the BBC certainly does. Like when they go out to find people to talk to in the street, it's like all the people who are like in pubs and cafes in the middle of the day who are like obviously retired and obviously, you know, going to vote in a certain way because of their demographic and age group. And yeah, it's just annoying because like they just don't get challenged, they don't get picked up on the things that they're saying, and it's just like, for fuck's sake, like my vote means nothing, and you know you're getting asked questions about what you think, and you're just coming up with this rubbish. Like I cannot tell you how frustrating that is to hear when you know the worthiness of my individual vote in my constituency means nothing. So yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can, but then sometimes you lag a little bit.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, but like
Shit.
your
Okay.
image like display thing is lagging a bit.
Oh.
Yeah, like Cam also says the southwest is far more Tory.
Is far more what? Sorry.
It's far more Tory. Yes, it is, but you know, places like Cornwall, like are some of the most deprived in the country. Those places, and you know, the whole idea of leveling up, which was part of like why they got in the first in 2019.
Do you reckon it was though? Because I reckon it was just Brexit, if I'm honest.
Well, I think Brexit was like a big chunk, but like from what we've heard recently about like the new leveling up agenda, there's actually like there's no new money. It's all like, well, you give devolved governments and councillors like more powers to do stuff. We're not actually going to give you like more money to do it. So you're just gonna have to find it from somewhere and like just make the relevant changes.
Yeah, it's like shouldering.
It isn't gonna happen. Like this was always gonna happen. Like another, you know, just another ruse. It's like, oh, leveling up, great. And also HS2, which is now only going to be going to like Birmingham, isn't it?
What the fuck
or
is
like,
that? Yeah.
Or like Manchester, and it's not gonna. There's no like Leeds Liverpool connection. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Explain that. I just get so cross. Like I just get so it winds me up that like I just think we just need to completely overhaul the system and change it.
When's the revolution then, Rowan?
I was asking like when are we gonna like when there's gonna be a riot, like because I'm so surprised, like so much has happened, like so much shit has happened and like there's been no protest.
Yes,
like
well first of all, we're not French, but also I think it's like it's frog in a boiling pot though, isn't it? Like you know the you know we have been shafted for so many years now, and people, well actually no, to be fair, there have been protests. It's just that it's either not covered,
it's not really
or
nothing's really happened.
I think, look, as long as people, I mean, the problem is, of course, that because of our voting, because it is our voting system, you know, most people do not vote Tory, but we keep
Yeah.
getting successive Tory governments.
I mean,
And
the Tories only have like about 42% of the vote
yeah,
share, and that
yeah.
they've got 100% of the power in government.
Oh,
Um,
more than 100% of the power. They got like more than an entire sort of thing. So like, yeah, they can run roughshod over basically anything. Now, of course, that has to be changed. Like, you know, but unfortunately, under the system now, what I think, or I hope, will happen soon is, say there's a hung parliament,
mm.
but the deal that the Liberals do, because I reckon the Liberals are going to take a bunch of seats, by the way, in the south.
Oh yeah. In the
Um,
south they will, like in the home counties there'll be,
yeah,
I think come the local elections, I think there'll be a lot of Lib Dem wins.
yeah,
Um
but they're always quite good locally, aren't they? They're
yeah.
quite so.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But look, if they do a deal where, all right, I'll do a deal with you, but we're going to push through PR, then the Tory
Mm,
party would collapse overnight, as would the Labour Party. But still, who
mm,
cares? Like, at least the Tory party, like, its crazies would be basically shut up forever, because nobody would ever work with them, which is
mm.
awesome. It's like win-win. Come on.
Yeah. But like Labour at the moment, I haven't seen any interest in wanting to do that. Like the only way that can
No.
happen is,
They say that. They say
yeah.
that.
But like I think, like, I mean, PR isn't a perfect voting
No,
system,
no,
but
but
because it
it's much
encourages
better than this. It's much
like a spread
represent. This is
of
ridiculous.
votes.
I mean, this is
Yeah,
so ridiculous. Like,
yeah,
the fact that the vast majority of people's votes don't count. We literally have a couple of 100,000 people, and that's it.
hmm
You
yeah,
know, who decide what we are ruled by? And I mean, look at this chaos. I
yeah.
don't want any guys. Look, I am not going to have any more guys in charge. I'm done.
I remember like the last
No
election.
more
I
gammons.
remember Gammons. I remember hearing like there were people. There's a lady that called in to the radio show, and she was literally in tears. Like she ended up crying because she was like, "I'm a nurse, and like I really dread if like the Conservatives get in again because I'm already struggling as like a single mum or something, and
Keeps going.
I'm really quite scared of
Mm.
like the things that they're gonna do if they get in again." And she started crying, like she was really upset. And I felt like I'm really sorry for her because she's not just one person. Like that's one of many people who like if you think about like
No,
the disabled who are taking an absolute beating at the moment, more so than any like some other people in the country. Like
but
yes, like
also, like,
there's a lot of
universal credit,
poverty and stuff, but
it's
they're the ones
it's
that have to
like,
carry the can a lot more because they've got a lot more like demanding sort of because of their way of life and their needs and requirements for their disability. They require more energy for things and like more equipment and stuff. And like
yeah,
that
and of course, yeah.
average Joe story in the chat.
Carry on, carry on.
But yeah, no, it's just
Sorry.
like the people don't discuss, you know, these sorts of groups of people and like their struggles. And Channel 4, like if you're interested in watching, Channel 4 did a really good report on sort of the impact of the energy price rises and how that will affect the disabled community.
Yeah.
And it was just gosh.
Right. So we have. I know, but via the church, like our local church, we've actually managed to help people out. But the thing is, and which is brilliant, and obviously I'm more than happy to do it along with mum. But we shouldn't have to be doing this, right, in a so-called developed nation and stuff. You shouldn't be having people either freezing or starving, right?
No,
That
no.
is a
And they
failure
should be
of state, like
ashamed.
such a failure.
They should be so ashamed of like
I mean,
the state of. There's
that's a
so much
failed state.
poverty.
Literally, yeah,
There's so much poverty in this country.
yeah.
There's like old like pensioners
And yeah,
starving, like freezing in the house because they
I
can't afford
know.
heating.
I mean, look, like I said, we have seen this. I've seen it mostly amongst the parish because of course it's such a mix. It's quite a large, parish. So you've got elderly people and single parents and kids at school and young couples and so literally all struggling so bad.
Hmm. Yeah, and
And
I've
thank
seen
God.
I've seen historical reports that over the past few years there's been like old um not diseases but like sort of conditions that are coming back into the fore because of based on poverty, things like scurvy and rickets that
Yes,
children are getting
yeah,
because of
yeah.
lack of like nutrition and things like that. I mean, God, this is Britain in the 21st century in
It's, I
2022,
I know,
and
I
it's
know.
like,
But
and this is being allowed to happen. Do you even
but
care? It's like, oh no,
but
but teachers can't afford to, get pencils.
yeah, but the thing is, why do look? I hate to put it on the voters, but stop voting them in for fuck's sake. Like it's no,
Mm.
like stop it,
Hmm.
slap, like absolute
Yeah,
punt.
but
Like
it's
stop.
yeah, but they don't see. They just. I think it's like this sort of tunnel vision where like it's not
Dissonance
affecting
is
me yet,
completely
so it doesn't really matter.
no.
Like I'm not
Actually,
seeing this
it's
myself.
right. If there's anything good that comes from this absolute pummeling, is that more people will very very blatantly see it, right? And
Mm,
hopefully, like if they can play off it well enough, then people will just
mm,
fucking get over it. I mean, it's unbelievable to me that people would ever vote. Well, first of all, it's unbelievable to me that anyone would vote for them anyway. But the idea that after this, that, I mean, even if you like, let's say that your brain was sort of addled enough to sort of do mental gymnastics enough to sort of go, oh, I'm going to vote for it. Like even now, like it would be a struggle, wouldn't it,
yeah,
to try and justify it. Like even if you were say Nadine Dorries, it's even a struggle. Although everything's a struggle for her. God
yeah.
bless her.
Um,
Um. But
but no,
yeah.
Cameron's just said in the chat. Most people think voting makes no difference. I mean, I've literally just been talking about like my vote makes no difference, Cam.
Mine doesn't.
My vote makes fuck all difference, but I'd
Well,
still go anyway. I still go and vote because I feel like there are many, many women like 100 years ago who made many sacrifices so that I could vote, and I'm gonna bloody well vote.
can
Um,
can I can I quickly say, I bet the people in what was the most recent one? The Owen Patterson. Oh, Shropshire, North Shropshire, right?
so yeah.
So Owen Patterson previously had a majority of 23,000, something absurd, right?
Hmm.
Um, Now it was one of the safest Tory seats. I remember going, I mean, yeah, like people are gonna tactically vote, right? It's a by-election. But so yeah, okay, but for a by-election it was still high. I think it was like 48, 49% turnout, which for a by-election is big. And but I was like, no, like this is automaton vote like territory, right? Like it's like blue rosette. You shove a donkey up there and you put a blue rosette on them, like whilst dribbling.
Yeah,
and
you could do that in my like a bucket of cold sick.
yeah,
Still voted in.
But yeah, completely absolute and utter retards. But and then it got kind of closer and closer, and I was like, oh, perhaps it might be kind of close. Now, I thought it would be kind of equal, but I thought the Tories would just take it. Like my final prediction was that the Tories would take it, but not by much, because of like tactical voting and stuff, and because of the fact that of course, you know, there was this scandal surrounding him and stuff. But I'm like, nah, 23,000 are fucking loads and no way. So I thought, you know, they didn't only win, they won. They overturned 23,000 and got 6,000 on top.
That's pretty good, isn't it? That's pretty good.
It's absolutely mad. I mean, I couldn't believe it.
I'm just gonna look up. I'm just gonna look up my constituency, because it's pretty big. I mean, so 2019 election, turnout 72%. Oh yeah, so Conservatives got 35,728 votes, and the Lib Dems following got 13,318. So that's a majority of 22,000.
Well, look, they overturned 23,000 in North Shropshire, which is rather incredible. But also take a quick look at my two. But my one where the flat is Twickenham, which is Munira Wilson. Right now, it's actually Vince Cable's old seat.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's got that now. Now, where I am right now is Runnymede and Weybridge. It used to be Philip Hammond's. Now it's Ben Spencer, I think. My folks MP around here.
Oh, okay.
Runnymede and Weybridge. Now he has a large majority here, but my guess is it could actually be taken.
Election results.
And hear my mum back yelling.
Election polling. So, yeah, that's a big majority. They got 29,262, and then Labour got about 11,000. So that's like.
The thing is, the Labour voters here would be willing to go Liberal if a lot of disaffected Tories would, because as London's gone outwards, this seat is where I'm sitting now, has become more what I call Londonified, and probably, you know, if say you had a good local candidate, right, and I reckon that you could take it. I think.
I mean, the councillors here that we have, they're the Lib Dem councillors. They're quite vocal, and they do a lot of the community. And I think there's a few at the moment that are organising.
The Liberals are very good, aren't they?
Yeah, they're really. You can really. They've got a presence in the community that a lot of Conservatives just can't be bothered to do that. And at the moment, they're organising like a rewilding project near me. And they're like really like on it with like the social media, like community boards and things like,
Yeah.
we're doing this, like, does anyone want to volunteer? And there's one guy who's like, oh, I'm gonna be sat on the bench in the local parks for about an hour, so if anyone
Oh,
wants to come and chat, I'll be here waiting. I'm like, oh, bless.
neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Well,
So
the thing is, it's why they've taken though. You're right about that, because it's why they do so well in like council seats. Now, like you said, with the upcoming elections in like May, I think that they're actually going to do well. I think that in the council elections they will do well. Um, I I also happen to think that the Tories are going to get smashed.
well, they probably will at this
Mm.
point. I think all the people, all the MPs that are deciding they're gonna stick with Boris, they're gonna be in for a big surprise.
They're on the wrong side of
Yeah,
history, right? But the thing
yeah,
is, I mean, how much of a hint do they want? A punch in the face? Like, what the fuck is wrong
mm,
with them?
yeah. Or what I usually go by is like, if Boris were to come round to your house and like
I
shoot
don't
your
think he'd be
dog,
welcome. No
if
offense.
shoot your dog or your cat, would you still want to wait for him?
Uh,
Mhm.
I don't
No.
have a dog or a cat, but if he shot my parrot, I'd rip his face off and kill him and stamp on his head. So yeah,
Uh,
I don't even have a parrot.
People are
Well,
like, oh
I
my God, can you believe that he's capable of doing this? Yes,
yeah.
1,000 times yes.
You've only been
Finally.
warned. You've only been warned for about 2 decades. Like
Yeah,
what?
this guy's a
Um,
bad guy. Shocked and
oh, I suddenly.
appalled. I'm so shocked.
I mean,
Oh,
look, if Cameron is like still here, right? Cameron, why do you think that these people have not got it after such
mm,
obvious bollocks for
mm.
years? Like, are they trying? Like, are they trying to ignore it, or do you think they genuinely are that thick? Honestly,
I also think it's a case that they're probably embarrassed. They're probably embarrassed that they don't they realise that the way that they voted is like probably not good, but they
well,
don't
no,
want to admit. They're like, oh no.
it's not even
Um,
really about but like even let's put all voting aside. He's a well documented liar and was even
mm,
before he ran, right? So like there is no real excuse. Like people knew like he was absolute. Now I put it down to, well, people became obsessed with Brexit because it became this culture war nonsense. That's what I had to put it down to, because I'm like, who the fuck else would want to vote for him,
mm,
and for what and why? But no, look, he's a well documented liar. He's an idiot. He's an
mhm,
obvious fucking fool. Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
it's like
I mean, I realise like there's so many reasons why this guy is a wrong 'un. And like I was given a further example, like not just for things like Nazanin Zaghari Radcliffe, who is still in prison, by
oh
the way.
yeah, like when he
And-
was cooking that up, what? And that's like
yeah,
another one.
and also when he was saying about someone, I think the way that he spoke about Jo Cox after she was murdered, and he was like,
Oh,
"Oh, the way that we can honour her memory is to get Brexit done."
I mean,
Oh
what?
God. And it's like you forget that these things happen, but then when you're reminded again, it's like, oh yeah, like shit, that was awful.
Yeah, it was like cock up after cock up,
Mm,
and eh, like some people at some points have been like, oh, it was staged and blah blah blah. Now because he's like a journalist, I have no doubt that some things probably were, but sometimes if it walks and quacks, it's a fucking duck, right?
mm,
So basically, he just cocks up. Okay, so sometimes it's just true. He just cocks up the whole time, and that's it. You know, he he
mm,
he comes out with these gaffes. He's an absolute dumbass. He thinks he can get away with it, and he can't. Like, look,
Yeah.
it's just he's tasteless and gross and stupid and
Mm.
entitled, and he can't even speak French, even though he claims to. I mean, I know. Ugh.
Yeah. But I think
His
what
French seriously makes me want to vomit.
yeah. Well, I think what he's got like this way of like when he knows he's in like some deep trouble and he's like, well, what can I do? Like how can I maneuver myself out of
How
this
can I
position
shove a dead cat in
so
there
I
in
can
order
make people
to get myself?
forget this thing and we can move on to the next. But the thing
Yeah.
is, like, that is a really bad strategy because if you continue to keep making all these mistakes after the mistakes, you're gonna eventually land yourself in another like, massive, hot water and you'll just go on making these gaffes. It's like, well, how can I stay in power long enough and like make people look the other way, and you'll be doing that forever.
It's rather
But
easy to get pulled into this conspiracy theory, almost like my mum did, like by saying, "Oh,
mm,
no, there's something a bit rigged about this. This is weird. Like, why is all four of these people suddenly resigned, and then why would she be with him for 14 years and then suddenly resign after this?"
yeah,
Which is true. I was a bit like, yeah, you're right. That's a bit fishy. Like, there's something
yeah,
weird. And
yeah,
but and but actually it could be both. Like, what I said to her is the reason why both of us are very confused is that it is both. Like, meaning probably some is orchestrated, right? Like, he wanted to clear out some, but then the others also walked out and he didn't realize, and now it's all going down in one night, so they have to try and cover it up. So
yeah,
it's like basically a mix of both, I think.
yeah,
Because it was obviously not staged. I mean, it was so chaotic and so terrible, and like he didn't need like more terrible headlines, you know.
mm,
So yeah, I don't think it was staged. Look, he's not even able to play 2D chess, let alone 4D.
no, I
So
know. um ooh,
hmm? Do you know what? I used to actually pay attention to the side chat, but apparently I can't now. Oh, I can now. Oh, I've missed a load. I'm sorry. Okay. Ah, Joey. Is Joey here? Are you here? Hello? Am I alone? Jesus Christ. Sorry, I'm just having a quick look at the side chat. Cam, Joey, Cam, Joey, Small Splinter, Left Wing Pies, blah blah blah. Oh yeah. Okay. Ooh. All right. Can you guys hear me? If you can, reply to me in the chat. I am trying to read your comments. Don't know what happened to Rowan, but there we are. Great. Okay, you can hear. Nice, Joe. Oh, it's good to hear from you again. Haven't spoken to you in a while, so I hope everything's good. Anyway, what are your thoughts on this whole sort of, you know, how when all the aides kind of quit, and I've never, again, I've never heard my mum certainly her, come out with like a conspiracy theory, but she was like, oh no, it's obviously rigged, and I was like, I don't think so. Like, I mean, okay, a few of them might have quit, but ooh, here we are, breaking news: Boris Johnson names new number. Oh Jesus Christ!
Right, I'm gonna try this again because I know I left the stream briefly. So I'll have another go.
No. Yeah, we can hear you. Also, I didn't know whether they could hear me. Oh, are you there? Oh, right. Okay. Anyway,
Okay, so hang on.
so by the way, just very quickly, I would like Joey's and Cam's view. Do you think that genuinely they just cocked up? Because it seems more like that than that there was some kind of conspiracy about, like, you know, them, like the aides kind of quitting and stuff.
So here's a clip of Boris Johnson.
Oh God, dearie me.
I don't mind. I think my theory is I've got a brilliant new strategy, which is to make so many gaffes that nobody knows which one to concentrate on.
So they cease to be newsworthy.
They cease to be newsworthy. You completely outgeneral the media in that way, and they despair. They despair, and so what you do, you they leave you alone. You shell them, you pepper the media. What you do is you've got to pepper their positions with so many gaffes that they're confused, like chaff, like a helicopter throwing out chaff. And then you steal on quietly and drop your depth charges wherever you want to drop them.
Yeah. So that's
I think my theory is I've got a brilliant.
So yeah, that's his view on like how to manipulate the media. Just keep making like mistakes and like just keep making gaffes like all the time, so that eventually like people are going to just be so confused and so bombarded with like crap that they won't know which way to turn, and
I'm on the
and then you can just do what you like. And I don't know. To be honest, I don't know when that was filmed. Like obviously a few years back, but you know that really feeds into like that's Russian propaganda. That is like that's how, you know, the Russians did it. Just keep your critics in a constant state of confusion, and like get them looking all over the place for stuff. They'll get so disorientated with it that, you know, they won't know what to do.
I mean, it's still like a long pool. Yeah.
Yeah. So what we have in the comments, the sacrificial lambs, the current, I think it's 5 resignations at the moment that we've got. Average Joe says that they are sacrificial lambs to please the public and the backbenchers, but don't think it will work.
Yeah.
But
sorry,
I don't know. I'm just looking at the comments and looking at the average Joe thinks that the resignations are just the sacrificial lambs, just to appease the public and the backbenchers.
Yeah, but they said that, but then they had this like absolute meltdown about that girl Manira
Mirza.
Yeah, and so again, I remember her from sort of London Mail days. So she has been with him for 14 years, and there's absolutely no way in a million years that this is because he has made this comment about Jimmy Savile. It's just not like there's something deeper. Like I think she's either pissing off before she gets implicated, or you know, she genuinely realizes it's like a sinking ship and it's going to kind of tarnish her chances of. So
Probably.
I think it's more likely that.
They're all just a bunch of chances at the end of the day, and they'll save their own skin if they have to.
Mm,
That's what it is.
mm.
But yeah, what is there left to say?
Actually, wait. Right, Joey and Cam. Like, if either of you are still here, so your view is that that all of this, like this chaos, do you reckon it was staged, or you genuinely think that they're in meltdown? Because I think for a while I was like, oh, maybe it's this. Actually, no. This does feel too chaotic for it to be staged. You know, like I genuinely think that they're in absolute meltdown.
Headless chickens, probably. Like, what shall we do next? Like, what's the next plan? What do we do? What do we do? Like, don't panic. It's just moving from one disaster to the next, hoping that they're gonna survive. At this point, it's just embarrassing. If you're still one of those hangers-on, like Lizzie Doris seems to be.
I mean, also, how could you possibly, like, say you tried to sort of defend Boris now? Would you not be like, yeah, I might be on the wrong side of history in about 5 minutes? I mean, like, how could you possibly?
And
How
the
could you justify it?
the people defending, like, they're. I mean, some people are like, well, I wouldn't have used those words. It's like, well, okay, but then you obviously disagree with what I said then, if you wouldn't have used those words. And it's like, why can't you just disagree? Like, it's not hard. They just can't bring themselves to say. I'm just oh.
Ridiculous.
It's like, well, I wouldn't use these words.
The thing is, though, let's say you like I mean, it's all well and good sort of sticking up for, I don't know, a leader of a party and oh, hold on, I think my thing is going crazy. One sec. I'm trying to make it so that, okay, there we are. But yeah, it's all well and good to like stand up for the leader of a party, and obviously I understand like collective responsibility and like people sticking up for a PM and stuff, no matter how much you and I might despise him. But look, there's something that's off, you know, like it's obvious that Rishi Sunak, for one, has been really kind of like, you know, standoffish from like the entire thing. Now, Liz Truss has tried to pull out her inner Thatcher.
Oh, she has, hasn't she? It's really obvious.
But
it's so obvious. She's like changed her hair.
No dear.
It's like, oh, if I make myself look presentable, then I'll look more prime ministerial. And she like speaks like very sort of like firm and like very like, well, this is clearly a very serious issue and we need to take Russia very seriously. Yeah.
I can't. Don't. Okay. Okay. She is arguably I can't even keep a straight face. One of the most vacuous, lightweight, incredibly shit individuals I've ever seen in politics. Seriously, like, I mean, I'd struggle to. I mean, that's why I want her. Because if she's it, then that's great news for Labour. Oh, she's so ridiculously bad that she's going to lose on her ass the entire time. So that's great. But can we have that first, please?
Oh, I must show you another video.
What?
It's the cheese video. It's
No, no,
Okay.
no. Am I currently underground? Am I
Okay.
currently underground?
Two-thirds of our cheese. That is a disgrace. Feet Liz Truss. Okay, let's see.
Joe, why do you say that? Am I underground? Is it my sound? Is it?
Our exports have increased by more than £1 billion over the past 4 years. And the results are superb. They are absolutely superb. We are growing wheat more competitively than the Canadian brown. Absolutely superb. We're producing more varieties of cheese than the French. Absolutely superb. Food and drink, we have never had it so good. We're selling tea to China. Yorkshire tea. And 2/3 of all of our apples, 9/10 of all of our pears. We import 2/3 of our cheese. That is a disgrace.
Oh my God.
The world's largest food trade fair, and I will be bigging up British products. In December, I'll be in Beijing, opening up a new pork market.
Yeah, right.
We import 2/3 of all of our apples, 9/10 of all of our pears. We import 2/3 of our cheese.
She goes.
2/3 of all of our apples, 9/10 of all of our pears. We import 2/3 of our cheese. That is a disgrace.
Right. Oh yeah. Right. Right. After this, what I'm about to send.
And I will not rest
Until
the British apple is back at the top of the tree.
What? I mean, that's just comedy gold.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. But
It's
also
comedy gold.
no. But look, let me send you something in where shall I send it? Shall I send it in what? Twitter?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. Utterly, this is brilliant too. It's brilliant. Hang on. Try and find
it.
fucking brilliant.
We import 2/3 of our cheese. That
this is a
disgrace.
It's a disgrace. She told you. The lady told you.
Yeah.
You went. Yeah. Hang on. Right.
But it's like the way that she after she's spoken and like it's like I've made a really great point, and she's like she goes from like really stern like, and then she's like like it's like something like so. Oh, I can't. Yeah.
Well, there's actually two. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post you both.
Okay.
Nobody told me that it was a party.
Oh, I've seen that. I've seen that one. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
There's another one that's is it the Beastie Boys? So it's like
yes, because that's the one that I want you to show this song, because Jacob Rees-Mogg in that is hilarious. Right. Hang on.
I
And
think it's Politics Joe that do those videos.
I know. I'm trying to find it. Hold on.
You've got to fight for your right.
Yeah.
The party.
That's it. Right. Hang on. Share Twitter. Oh. What? No, I don't want to share it there. Okay.
Oh. This is a good time to promote the channel. If you are watching this, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And it does wonders for the old YouTube algorithms and such like. So if you could just put a thumbs up.
There you go.
Oh, cheers.
I mean, yeah, go on.
Oh yeah.
Be hilarious.
Let's play this thing on. I'm just gonna put myself share screen. Oh, adverts.
You got to fight for your right to party. I wake up late for work, man, I don't want to go. I ask Carrie, please, but she still says no. Now that is fucking lockdown, try to say that it's work. Now even hard
Look at Jacob.
some
This.
kind of jerk. You got to fight for your right to party. That time I misled the Queen and I said, no way. Well, that hypocrite lies 10 times a day. Man, being PM is such a drag. Since learning to way best for my mag. You got to fight for your right to party. Don't got that thing. Oppose me if you dare. I'll shoot you now, Boris. I'm cold or fucking there. Well, the ladies first did and said, what's that noise? I said, the drink press where turn boys. You got to fight for your right to party.
Oh, that's good.
Isn't that brilliant? Oh, I love it.
Total rhubarb.
No.
That's great. Is there another one?
Well,
Is there the Killers one?
Yeah, there's the other one is what was the other one? Sure.
Nobody told me it was a party.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Nobody told me it was a party. It looked like a party. With juice and wine and stuff, you'll find that.
I remember this when this came out. Killers, wasn't it?
It has the potential to bring me down.
That's a lot shorter. I think the Beastie Voice ones is a bit better.
Yeah,
It's way better.
No, yeah, I think there's like there's another one too, which was absolutely brilliant. Like they did. I don't know whether it was the Killers. I thought it was, but hold on. Let me try and find it. But yeah, it was just fucking hilarious. But look, very very quickly, whilst I look it up, just I know it's annoying, but going back to speculation, because we keep getting drip fed, you know, all of this nonsense every single day. Who do you reckon is gonna? First of all, I think it's a matter of time, right? Because I think the letters are going in, but it's like who? I remember Norman Tebbit. Like this is famous, right? When Ted Heath was about to go, they said it wasn't really a matter of what to do, but it was by whom. And I think that that's what's basically, you know, that's what they're thinking now. But who, in your view, Ro, do you think is probably the front runner? Like, put yourself, I know it's hard, but put yourself in a Tory mindset. I know. I would say what, Sunak, really? Or
Yeah, I mean, I think he's the most likely person. I think as well, like, I don't think this is as likely, but Michael Gove's been keeping a really low profile, and I think, I mean, he was asked like if there was a leadership contest, like, would you want to run? And he was like, oh, absolutely not. But
No.
you know, we all know what he's like so.
Very
I think,
simple.
to be honest, I think probably Rishi Sunak, but then I think Liz Truss might be like the second person.
Well, you do realise that allegedly, I mean, I'm not sure how true this is, but allegedly Priti Patel wanted to.
Oh my lord! Oh, in that case, we're all.
Can you imagine?
It's like having God, like someone like Himmler or something.
Yes, but the thing is though, because she is so toxic, and I mean, bear in mind, look, people literally left the Tory party as members. There was an exodus of members a while back. So now the members are literally loons, meaning like that'd be great though, wouldn't it? Because can you imagine? She's so toxic to the wider electorate.
Well, hopefully that will mean that she doesn't get voted even as the leader.
Well,
because I generally don't think she's very popular. I just don't think that she is.
She was like you know, the token brownie.
No. Well, you've got Health Secretary. What's his name?
Sajid Javid.
Yeah, as well.
No, but the thing is, she's like token brownie whilst being evil. Well, I mean, he's actually a bit evil too. Like, well, haven't we always called him Nosferatu? Because he looks like Nosferatu.
He does look a bit like, yeah. Shouldn't really make these sort of jokes, really. But
he does though.
Yeah.
Who do you reckon is gonna run then? So not Priti Patel. So you don't think she'll run?
I think she will, but I think she'll lose.
Okay, but do you think that Javid will then?
Yeah, I think it'll probably be between Rishi Sunak, like, okay, top 5, I'd say Rishi Sunak, Liz Truss, Priti Patel, Sajid Javid, and Michael Gove. Those are my top 5.
I don't think Gove's gonna do it. I think, right, these are my top 5. I reckon Jeremy Hunt, backbencher, Tom Tugendhat.
I actually wouldn't mind him, actually. I find him quite palatable.
No, I think that, you know, the 5, like, you know, like not meaning that they might not get far, but what I'm saying is, like, if it's 5, Tom Tugendhat, Jeremy Hunt, I reckon Jeremy Hunt's going to go again. Liz Truss, Sajid Javid,
Mm.
and Rishi Sunak.
Yeah.
That's
those are decent choices.
Mm.
I'm not sure about Jeremy Hunt though.
I think he might give it another go, because I think he can sense blood in the water, and he also can sense the fact that people just want like stability and normalness. So he might be a psychopath, but at least you won't have to like worry about the psychopath every single day like you do now.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, but again, it's like you're choosing the best of a bad bunch, and
it
sucks like the way that the way Parliament is structured, because we obviously don't have like a written constitution. Everything's like an unwritten rule. That everyone's basically there to do good and to play like a gentleman, blah blah blah. And obviously, like, it's got to a point where that's not happening, and people are it's just turned into like this, oh well, take everything for all we can get sort of thing. And but yeah, there's no rules for like how to deal with it, and you can't just like get rid of someone. Like, there's no easy way to get rid of people who like act in such sort of like don't know
you know
what the word
what, this whole debacle has really proven that we really need to clamp down on this. It's ridiculous. What we have to do is we have to have very, very set rules, whereas if you turn around, you take the piss like this lot have over and over, including to the Queen and back.
Like, yeah.
Right. So never again. Like so hard that you even try and put one step. Like, because bear in mind, these are people that are meant to be making the rules, right? So to an extent, they have to have a degree of trust, because I don't know about you, but I have I've certainly felt that people, over and over now are so distrusting, like untrusting of stuff, when the like the I don't know, very basic things like local government, or national government, or vaccination, or any kind of thing. And it does enormous damage, because
I think a Tory councillor was saying that. I saw in another interview, like, there was a woman who was a councillor, and she was like, this is gonna like really drip down to the lower levels, and it's going to affect, like, even if you're a councillor, like, or a parish councillor or a town councillor, people are going to look at your blue rosette and think, oh, you're just as bad as all of the rest of them up there.
That's
it's obviously not true.
No.
But that's the perception, that the fish rots from the head down, and unfortunately that's the situation. And what's worse is that they're just doubling down, like that. There's no there's no no one's being honest, like even a little bit, of saying like, oh, like, we made a bit of a mistake there, and like perhaps like we should rethink how we do things. No one's being upfront at all.
Well, I think the problem is that this is, well, it's obviously shown us how fragile the entire system is. Now what we have to do is fix it. And if we can't trust people, then fucking hammer them. That, like, the way that I see it, right? Sod being nice enough. No. Fight fire with even more fire. Like the way that I would do it is I would clamp down so bad that they would be out on their ear within, like they would be locked up and out on their ear within minutes. Okay, because ministerial code would be enforced. It literally would be enforced. And so, right, you get it wrong, piss off.
Yeah.
You know, like that is harsh. You don't even get a warning.
It's like when
it's like sworn oath. It's like under
when Priti Patel was she got done for bullying and like breaking the ministerial code, but instead of her resigning, it was the guy who was being bullied, like the civil servant. How is that right? It's just
yeah, of course. But this should become no. To me, I'd be literally a benevolent dictator. I would be like, no, you will do this, and if you don't, fuck off. Like that. That's it. There is no, So.
Yeah, I think I would be quite similar. Like, just it's reached a point where it's like
it's ridiculous.
We can't continue this way. Just being laughed at. Like, it's just
and right, it's pretty embarrassing. Across the like even in Arnhem now, they're just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You do Brexit and then everything goes to shit, and now you're like, what the fuck? Like after like, what is wrong with you? Like, why have you still got Boris there? Like they can't believe it.
No.
Oh.
Anywho, so yeah, this stream's been running for about 2 hours. So I think we're going to call it a day.
Yes. Okay.
But yes, thank you for all the contributors in the side chat. It's been really good to hear from people we've not heard from in a good while. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, Road Dog Speaks, which used to be Road Dog Does Politics, but I since changed it because I'm fiddling around with YouTube settings and such. Yeah, please do subscribe and like this video along with other videos. And yeah, thank you very much. Is there anything else you'd like to say, Jules?
Well, no. I just wanted to. I was just looking at the side chat because I basically did it the opposite way round. So I was gonna be filmed on my phone and then, watch it on the iPad. But actually, I had to do it on the iPad and watch on the phone. But no, cheers, guys, for sticking around.
Yeah, I mean, admittedly, there's only been a handful of people, I think, but that's okay.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Well, they can watch it after, but again, it was because it was one of our first streams in ages.
I know. Yeah. And
but no. But yeah, thanks, people, for and again, like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you shortly.
Probably in one of Swiss's videos.
Yes, and also follow us both at Rowmids, so ROWMIDS, and at Miss is it Miss Annabelle Rose? Yeah, at Miss Annabelle Rose, ANNABELROSE. Okay.
Cool. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully look forward to another video in the very near future.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.